I came here this afternoon because I want to talk to y'all about a serious matter. On yesterday, there was a mass shooting here in D.C. 20 people were injured and one was deceased. Don't quote me, I may be wrong. The city is in an uproar right now, and people are riding around checking on their family and friends, and that's what I'm coming from, checking on my family and friends as well. The people in D.C. are hurting. They're confused and they're tired. Me personally, I'm all of the above. I've been living in D.C. all my life, born and raised in D.C. Came out of the legendary hospital, D.C. General, okay? And D.C. is my home, it's all I know. That's why Lonnie B is still here in D.C. You can't get me to go nowhere else because I am D.C. For the past couple of months, our city has been in a war zone. Well, not even the last couple of months, probably the beginning of the year. We have lost so many people, from elders to children. And the city is hurting. People are getting on the internet and they're saying, we need to stop the violence. We need to increase the peace. We need to stop. I am all for the public positive announcements. My concern comes in having those announcements and no positive influence of actions behind it. We can't expect people to put the guns down when we're waving guns in music videos. We can't expect people to stop the violence when our brand promote the violence. We have to live by an example. And I know some of us are comfortable in the positions and the popularity that we have. But if your popularity don't have a positive purpose, then maybe you need to reevaluate yourself before you start speaking to people, because they will look at you as a joke if you're talking but not walking the talk. How we make change is we create change. Back in the day when I was coming up, like in the 80s and the 90s, yes, we had a lot of positive influence even in the hood. The Muslims used to come around the neighborhood and they used to talk to the youth. And it wasn't the fact that they were trying to buy people into their religion, the power that they had, that they were listening to the kids on the streets that were hurting. See, nowadays, parents don't talk to their sons. They just tell their sons, get a job. Don't come back in this motherfucking house if you don't got no money. Regardless of where the money come from, all they care about is the money. Fathers nowadays tell their daughters, don't you let no motherfucking nigga beat you. But at the end of the day, they're beating their mother. You can't say certain things and don't live behind what you say. If you want people to change, you have to create the change. Change starts with us. Now, I personally miss the things that we had in the hood. And just because we don't have those things in the hood no more, don't mean that we can't recreate those things for our own community. See, back in the day, we had Boys and Girls Clubs. We had Department of Recreation Centers. We had people that would come around to the hood and, just like I said, the Muslims that would talk to us. We had those people that were actually engaged and wasn't afraid of the people that they like to call in the jungle. We don't have that no more. And due to the fact that we know we need these things, us as people have to create these things. And you don't have to create these things just because you have a platform. Because one thing that we also have to understand is that everybody with a platform don't know how to address certain problems and situations. Just because you're popular don't mean that you're knowledgeable. So you can't expect everybody with a big platform to inform people to go in the right direction, because they might don't even know what direction to go in. Change starts with us. You can't expect people to speak for you. You have to speak for you. It's not one voice, it's multiple voices. You are the voices. Then when we have these events, these peaceful events, that's great. I'm all for it. But no event is successful if it don't have a purpose and a positive solution. That's why everybody can't throw everything. You can't call for peace when you having people come to your event being disrupted, having things to trigger their behavior, weed, alcohol, pills, perks, whatever. When you're trying to get people attention, you got to have some restrictions. When you go to church, you know you can't go to church and smoke and drink. Your soul got to be open to receive the word. Same thing when we talking about peace. Peace is something that's laid on your heart. In order for us to reach the heart, the soul have to be clean. Sober minds, sober heart. We have to start with changing who we are. Because people nowadays go off of what they see, not what they hear. We live in a generation now where it's all about popularity. Even when it comes to these, blogs and stuff. Now, these blogs are designed to give you information. But the reason why I don't follow a lot of blogs is because they have no restrictions. Any information is information that they put out. And when you have no order, you create a lot of friction. People nowadays do negative things just to be posted on a blog because they know they will do it. So it becomes a publicity stunt. And even if that's cause for people out here taking people's lives, they know they're going to be placed on a blog. One thing that these crime shows teach us is that serial killers get a kick out of watching their work on the news. That's why nowadays a lot of shows, crime shows, don't show the person that created the rape. They show the victim. Because they want you to understand what they went through. Sometimes the shooter overshadows the victim because this generation likes to praise the shooter. We so busy focusing on what gun he got and how he's shooting, not realizing he just killed somebody. Change start with us. It's the little things that make a big difference. When you start fixing those little things, you'll get a big difference. OGs on the block. It's hard for the youngins on the block to listen to y'all when you still on the block. OG stands for original gangster. A retired hustler. A real OG is not on the block no more because he done mastered the skill of hustling. He took that dirty money and he made it clean. What he used to do, he don't gotta do no more. He got barbershops, real estate. And what makes him an OG is that he can tell the next man how to get out. You don't survive the streets by staying on the streets. You survive the streets by coming up off the streets. And using your testimony to help somebody else get off the streets. It's a lot of backwards ass hustling. Change start with us. So if we want to change, we got to stop talking about the change and become the change. Rest in peace to Marion Barry.